Alright, Teach, I heard about this myth.
Alright, let's hear it.
Alright, so the myth is that a frozen chicken, when launched at a very high velocity, will do more damage on impact than a thawed chicken.
Well, that's an interesting myth. Where'd you hear it from?
Alright, so the myth goes, some European railroad company originally was trying to test the durability of windshields on railroad cars. They heard about this method of testing windshield strength from NASA at the time. And then what they would do is they'd launch these chickens at windshields. So myth goes that as they launched the chickens, they just kept shattering through the windshields and blowing through like 3 railroad cars back.
Wow.
So yeah, I know. And then so they were wondering how they had so much trouble with this. So they went back to NASA, asked NASA, what are y'all doing differently? And then NASA's just told them like, well, are you freezing your chicken? And then the Europeans were like, yeah, we are. And then he's like, well, there's your problem. So that's where the myth started. Frozen chickens do more damage on impact than thawed chickens. So yeah.
Well, that's a pretty unorthodox myth.
Yeah, I know. So want to do it?
Yeah, let's figure out how we're going to start this thing.
Okay, so to get started, we're going to have to do a few things. First, we're going to have to do a lot of research on how we're going to actually pull this off. Second, we know we're going to have to build a cannon. Third, make ballistic gel to measure the impact forces. And then lastly, we have to fire the chicken. So as far as how we're going to pull this off, first we're going to have to build a cannon to fire the chicken, load the chicken into the cannon, and then fire it at a mounted ballistic gel mounted on a table, and then we're going to measure the impact force. So to begin this whole process, we first began to 3D print a lot of parts for the potato cannon. Then we began to program and test all the pieces in electronics. After a lot of hard work, we have a fully functional cannon.
Welcome back to Cooking with Nary, and today we're going to be making ballistic salt dough. Joining me today is guest star Trevor Dublin.
What's up?
How does this recipe work, Trevor?
So first you start off by getting a good cup of flour going. Do you have the cup?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. So this is a half cup, so we're going to add like 2 of these bad boys in here.
Alright.
Got to be very precise with it.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very precise.
So for those of you who don't know, Trevor is a culinary arts major, and
Yes.
he's been practicing his trade for about 7.5 years.
2 cups of flour, right? Yeah.
Yes, 2 cups of flour.
So we're still going.
No. I'm sorry. I blame you guys because you're the ones that made it.
Still going.
He's good at this,
Hey,
guys.
Reed.
Bam.
We may want to.
Alright,
There you go.
so now you have your 2 cups of flour. So what's next?
Then you add in a cup of salt.
Alright. That's a lot of salt.
Nah, that's fine. It's a good healthy amount.
We need to practice for the game, not necessarily switching everything up. Right. We also want to keep people interested.
Okay, so now we have our dry ingredients. I guess we have to mix in our wet ingredients.
Yes. I just inhaled a ton of salt. Alright.
We start with 1 tablespoon of oil, right?
Yeah, you start with a tablespoon of, we're using Crisco vegetable oil.
Can't talk about brands.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we're sponsored. Not really, but.
Alright, so that's 1 tablespoon of oil.
And then for the final ingredient, you get a cup of water going. But if you want to have it colored, I recommend mixing in your food coloring. For this test, we're going with black. Can you even see that?
It's okay.
Black?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah, we're good. It's black. Here, ready?
Alright, so now that we've mixed up all of our ingredients, what do we do?
Yeah, so you just start kneading it together till you get a Play-Doh-like consistency.
Okay.
There's a fork if you like. Okay.
I'm just gonna mix it with my hands.
What
So
a
I guess,
man.
Yeah, so I guess now we can just fast forward the video to like...
Just cut to it. Just cut. Yeah.
Alright, time for the final product.
Yo, that worked!
Thank you for joining us on Cooking with Nary. Okay, it's okay.
That's good, that's good.
We'll take that. That was great.
Now for the testing portion of this project. So to begin, we fired 3 sets of frozen chicken into the clay. And as you notice from the first, second, and third shot, that the impact force is concentrated at a specific point of impact.
We did it again! Oh this.
Moving on to the thawed chicken, we began to see a lot of different results. I'd like to note, however, on the first shot that the first chicken that we fired was not nearly as thawed out as the rest, as why you see such dramatically different results.
I think our myth might be busted, guys. Guys, I think.
Wait, no. If you look at the hit wrong way, it's not like broadside.
I think our myth might be busted still.
I don't know if it was it being busted. We'll redo.
Plausible. You can say
This one we can do a couple more.
Yeah, we got 2 more attempts on this
I
one.
think it's more that the freaking chicken we like legit blew up on impact because it's so warm.
However, as we moved on to the second and third shot, you'll begin to see that the force is a lot more distributed among the face of the clay. This results in a broader spread of the chicken and a less concentrated force in one specific point.
It like hit my face.
So, Tejas, what does all this new data mean?
So after looking at the results of our past 6 shots, we were able to find some pretty interesting things. So for our first few shots, which we took were frozen chickens, our very first chicken had a depth of about 2 inches. Now our second and third shots, which were also frozen, were from 2.5 and 2.16 inches respectively. Now transitioning over to our not frozen chickens, all of their depths were below 2 inches. So our fourth chicken shot at about 1.5 inches in depth. Our fifth chicken and sixth chicken only shot 1.25 inches in depth.
It's pretty interesting though. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool is with the frozen chickens, they didn't have nearly as big as an area of effect. Now, as like with the thawed chickens though, the heated up chickens, whenever they impacted the clay, their force was distributed pretty evenly across it. It had a lot bigger area of effect than the frozen chickens.
So on average, it seems that the frozen chickens had a deeper depth than the not frozen chickens.
I think that means though that also has a more concentrated force. So as it would have gone through the windshields of the train cars, it would have blown right through the first window and then through the rest of the cars.
Well, I think that means that this myth is plausible.
Cool. Okay.
Great, I think that was
better.
that was great. That was a lot better. Alright, sweet.